Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today we're going to do a written retell of the story Teacher's Pets from Second Grade Journeys Lesson 5. For this lesson, you will need a piece of paper and a pencil because at the end of the lesson, you're going to challenge yourself and work your brain. So what you need to do, if you don't have a pencil and paper, push pause, get your materials, and then push play when you're ready to join me. At the end of the lesson, you're going to answer this question. What happened in the story? Write a retell. We're going to use the colors green, which means go, and that is the beginning of our retell or the start. And you're going to use the transition word first, Miss Fry tells, and then you're going to finish the sentence. And then we're going to go to the middle of the story, and that's yellow. Later, the students bring, and then you're going to finish that. Then next, the students take, and then finally the end or red, and the finish last, Mo goes, and then you're going to finish that sentence. Here's our learning target. I can write a retell of the story Teacher's Pets using complete sentences. Success criteria. That means how will you know you're successful at writing a retell? Well, here are our steps that we're going to do together, our steps to success. I will, number 1, say, match, and write the characters and setting. I will, number 2, say and match the lesson or moral of the story, what the characters learned. 3, I will put the retelling pictures in the correct sequence or order. 4, I will say, match, and write the sentences to each picture, saying what happened first, later, next, and last. And finally, our last step, number 5, I will check my writing using my writing checklist. And this may seem like a lot of steps, but we're going to do each one together. Teacher's Pets is from the genre of reality stories. Some noticings we have for reality stories is the story could happen, the places are real, the people can be real, animals act like animals, you might learn facts, and it can be funny. So Teacher's Pets could happen, and the place, the classroom, and the school is real. It could be real. And the people in the story could be real. And the animals in Teacher's Pets act like animals. They don't talk. And you might learn facts. And Teacher's Pets is definitely a funny story. Characters. What are characters? Characters are the people, animals, or objects in a story. Setting. What is the setting? Setting is where the story takes place. Sequence. What is the sequence? Sequence is the order things happen in a story. We use sequence words like first, next, last, or beginning, middle, and end. In the beginning of the story, in the middle, and at the end. So let's review Teacher's Pets and retell it out loud using our words only, not writing, but just using our words. Retell of Teacher's Pets. The characters were, who were the characters in Teacher's Pets? So say it out loud with me. The characters were, the characters were Miss Fry, the students, and animals like Mo the cricket. The setting. Where does the story take place? You're going to say the setting was. Well, the setting was Miss Fry's classroom. So now let's put our pictures in order. If you remember these pictures from the story, these were major events, and I put them in the correct sequence. So what happened first in the story? What did Miss Fry do or say? Miss Fry. Well, first, Miss Fry tells her class that Monday is sharing day. Winston asks, "May we share a pet?" Later, he brings his wonderful pet rooster. So now, when I ask you a question about the next picture and I say the sequence word, I want you to finish it. So here we go. Later, look closely at the picture. Later, what's going on in Miss Fry's classroom? Later, the students. Well, later, all the students bring their pets to class. In fact, the pets stay there every day. The class is bursting with pets' happy noises, with the pets' happy noises, I should say. Now let's look at the next picture. Next, what are the students doing in this picture? Next, the students. Well, the students, on the last day of school, the class had a party. When it was over, Miss Fry said, "Don't forget to take home your pets." Once they were gone, the classroom was quiet. It's no longer bursting with noises. And finally, last, what happened at the end of the story? So, what is Mo doing and Miss Fry doing at the end of the story? Last, Mo and Miss Fry. Well, last, Miss Fry noticed a note from Roger, who asked her to keep Mo. Miss Fry took Mo home and placed him in her garden. Now Mo was happy. So now we're at the end and the lesson or moral of the story. In the end, the students learned that Miss Fry was a kind, what was she? She was a kind teacher. All right. So now we're at the end of our review. You're going to challenge yourself, get your brain working. You will need your piece of paper and pencil, and you're going to answer what happened in the story. Write a retell. And again, we're going to use those stoplight colors. Green means go. You're going to say what happened first or the beginning of the story. Slow down and say what happened in the middle or later in the story. And then still in the middle, next. And then finally, at the end of the story, you're going to tell me what happened last. But before we start writing, I just want to remind you, when you write each sentence, say each sentence out loud before you write it. And here's our writing checklist. When you write a sentence, make sure you use finger spaces. Put a finger space or two between each of your words. Also, use punctuation. Don't forget your period at the end of the sentence. And then use uppercase letters or capital letters at the beginning of each sentence. And finally, sound out any unknown words that you don't know how to spell. Write the sounds you hear. And my favorite, reread each of my sentences so that they make sense, so that you know that they make sense. So keep this in mind as you're writing your sentences on the next slide. So what happened in the story? Write a retell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the colors green, yellow, and red. For each color, I want you to write that sentence frame and then finish the sentence with your own words. That's why it's good to say the sentence out loud. So we're going to start at the beginning of the retell or start, and we're going to say first, look closely at the picture. First, Miss Fry tells, what does she do? So what I want you to do is write this green sentence stem. First, Miss Fry tells, and then finish that sentence. Tell me what Miss Fry tells. You could say first, Miss Fry tells the class that Mondays are sharing days. So push pause and write this sentence frame and complete it. When you're finished with the green sentence, push play and we'll move on to our yellow or middle sentences. All right, now we're going to talk about the middle of our retell, and the middle is going to be 2 sentences. Later, the students bring, what do the students bring to class? What's going on in that picture? So what I want you to write is later, the students bring, and then finish that sentence. Push pause and write this yellow sentence and finish it. What do the students bring? Later, the students bring, what do they bring? They bring their pets. So push pause, write this sentence and finish it. Don't forget your capital and period. And then when you're ready to join us, push play. Now we're still in the middle. Later, the students take, this is the last day of school, and they have a party. And what do the students take home with them? Later, the students take, so write that sentence frame and finish the sentence on your own. Later, the students take, and push pause. And when you're done writing the yellow sentence, push play, and we'll finish with our red sentence. Now we're at the end of our retell or the finish line. And you're going to write last, Mo goes. Where does Mo go at the end of the story? Does Mo stay in the classroom? Where does Mo go? So you're going to write last, Mo goes, and then finish that thought. Tell me where Mo goes. Push pause, write your sentence, and when you're done, push play to rejoin the lesson. So let's check your retell. Check your work. Remember this writing checklist? Did you use finger spaces between your sentences? Yes or no? If not, your words are going to look like one long word all put together. Did you use punctuation and put periods at the end of each of your sentences? Did you use uppercase letters at the beginning of each of your sentence or capital letters? And then did you sound out unknown words? Meaning if you didn't know how to spell the word, did you write the sounds that you heard? This is called inventive spelling. And then my favorite, reread each of your sentences. If you need to, push pause and make your changes. And then when you're ready, push play again. All right, what was our learning target? I can write a retell of the story, Teacher's Pets, using complete sentences. What would you give yourself a reflection grade? Would you say 4, I could teach this lesson. I easily retold the story in writing. Using the sentence starters, I also use my writing checklist for all of my sentences. Would you give yourself a 4 or 3? I retold the story in writing using the sentence starters. I also use my writing checklist for most of my sentences. 2, I retold some of the story in writing and used the writing checklist for some of my sentences. Or 1, I did not retell the story and I did not use my writing checklist. I certainly hope we got a 2, 3, or 4, preferably a 3 or a 4, but if you got a 2, that's okay. We just do our best every time and hopefully get better every time. All right, boys and girls, thank you for writing with me today. If you want, on the next slide, I'm going to show you my completed retell. What happened in the story? First, Miss Fry tells students that Monday is sharing day. Later, the students bring their pets to school and they live there all year. Later, the students take their pets home when the year ends. And finally, last, Mo goes to live in Miss Fry's garden. So if you want, check your work with mine. Thank you for writing with me. Have a great day.